Hello folks and welcome back to Fallout 4. As always, of course, I am Falcon, your host. Last time we found the Courser that we had been told that we needed to go find, and we retrieved the chip from its brain. This time, we are heading into town, and we're going to listen to the Silver Shroud radio for a second and find out what our next task there is. We'll do that quick, and then we'll proceed onward. Then we will proceed onward into Good Neighbor.
Well. Looks like someone got lost on the wrong side of the tracks.
Additionally, the Cabot house here is important. Because one of the things that this area leads to a quest. I happen to know this because I looked it up earlier because I was wondering how to do the place. But I believe, if I remember correctly, this leads to the Carson State Insane Asylum. This is how you end up getting into there. You do something here. I don't know if we just walk up to it though. I'm not entirely sure if that's how that works or not. Also, there's a lot of an awful lot of vehicles from them flying around. We're gonna go ahead and turn the radio off for just a second. We're gonna try and do they have lost so many airplanes, it's kinda silly. These two are the defenders for Cabot House, that seems.
Go away. I told you to go away.
I'd really like to come in.
No, you really don't. Now get out of here.
Why
Why
not?
don't I want to come in? Seems like a nice place.
You don't want to come in because then I would have to kill you. I assume you don't want to be killed, so get out of here.
No.
Come on, let me in.
You're not gonna give up, are you? Have it your way. Door's unlocked. Come on in.
Totally doing it. No idea why. Totally doing it. Also, you might have a difficult time trying to kill me. Just saying. Just saying.
Hold very, very still. Now tell me what you're doing here.
The best you got? Dude, I could take that away from you and eat you alive. I could take this gun away and shove it so far down your throat you would choke to death on it. I don't even have to kill you myself. You would die on your own weapon. You really don't want to mess with me. Bad idea. Yeah.
Did you nod off? For what?
You have no idea. No idea.
Easy.
It'll be nice though.
I'm really not looking for trouble.
You come into Boston and knock on random doors. I think you are looking for trouble.
Edward? Who is it?
Don't worry about it, Jack. I got it under control.
Edward, don't be so hasty. I like the look of this lady. Please, accept my apologies for Edward's behavior. He's just looking out for me, but
Clearly.
sometimes he can be overzealous. I'm
Clearly.
Jack Cabot. Welcome to Cabot House.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Jack.
Hi. How you
Pleased to
doing?
meet you. Seems like a long time since we've had a visitor. Edward, I
Considering
think
this
this
kind of
occasion calls for
greeting.
drinks. The good bourbon, eh? Come on, this way. There's no need to stand talking in the front hall like savages.
Okay. Mind if I rob everything you own?
Have a
Oh,
seat.
Feel
yes.
like we've stepped back in time.
Yeah. I feel like you're right.
Now, before we get down to business, I have a question I'd like to ask all my new employees.
Is this really the time
Don't
for...
interrupt, Edward. The question is this. Do you believe there is other intelligent life in the universe?
You like aliens?
Are you talking about aliens? UFOs and little green men?
No. That's all popular hysteria. I doubt any of it has any basis in fact.
Well, I
I'm
killed one
talking about
earlier.
the hidden
Does that
history
count?
of our planet. the very origins of human civilization.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Powers that modern science, even at its pinnacle, could barely begin to comprehend.
Aliens created civilization? What? You hear about the job? I didn't. What? I've heard of no job. I'm just randomly here for no good reason.
That's really interesting.
I guess it could be true.
I'm glad to hear you say that. It's become my life's work. My approach is to combine a rigorous scientific method while keeping an absolutely open mind. So much has been closed off to us simply because people assumed they already knew the answers.
Well,
my father excavated a
I would argue with that one.
Rub al-Khali in Arabia, which he dated to more than 4,000 years before the rise of any known human civilization. The structures and artifacts were strange, disturbing even. Clearly not constructed for or by humans. I've spent my life trying to decipher what he uncovered.
Jack, can I tell her what I need her to do?
I'm sorry, Edward. I just get carried away sometimes. You're sending her to look for the missing shipment.
Yeah.
Well then, I'd better leave you to it. We'll talk more about this some other time, when things are less rushed. It isn't important now. Welcome to the family.
Okay. You're officially hired. Congratulations.
What the hell is the camera doing? I don't even want to know. I'm pretty sure I probably don't want to know. No, really. Pretty sure. Okay, no, camera. Just no. You're bad. Feel bad. Lord.
Did you not?
His father did this. Somehow, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be doing any archaeological digging of any way, shape, or form in the world as it exists now. Which tells me that his father lived before the bombs. He's clearly not a ghoul, which means he's way the fuck too young to still be alive. So... What? I don't understand. What
was
what?
all that
I
about?
don't understand.
Don't worry about it for now. That's part of the job, by the way.
Okay.
It's best to keep an open mind. Jack may be eccentric, but he's definitely not crazy. The job I got for you is simple. Jack owns a facility north of the city. There's an important package that went missing between there and here. I need you to track it down and bring it back to me. Any questions?
Lots of questions. So, what is this
For
package?
starters, what's this package I'm looking for?
It's a metal case holding vials of serum.
Oh,
you don't
that's
need to worry
that's
about
good.
what it is.
That's good.
Jack needs it for his research. That's all you need to know. You should start at Parsons State Insane Asylum. Don't let the name spook you. It's just a secure building that we're using. We think the courier got ambushed as he was leaving the place. The guards heard gunfire in the distance, but we don't know exactly what happened. Check in with Maria at Parsons. She's in charge of the security force there. She can point you in the right direction. You all set then?
Possibly killed all the security guards there. I've done it several times, but I don't know if it was actually in this continuity or not, because some of the times I reloaded afterwards. I have more
I have
questions.
some questions.
Shoot.
Why does Jack have people guarding an old insane asylum?
I don't mind you asking questions. As long as you don't mind me not answering them. If it was important to what I was asking you to do, I'd tell you. In this case, it isn't. Anything else?
Yeah.
How did this package go missing?
The courier got there and picked up the package just fine, but never got back here. Could be simple bad luck, or it could be a deliberate ambush. That's why I'm sending you. It's important that you recover the missing package. You all set then?
Never mind.
Nothing?
Okay. They're expecting you over.
Do you have a minute?
The fuck do you want?
What is it?
When we first met, I admit, I had my doubts about you. but you've done nothing but impress me. You're just who the Minutemen needed to bring us back from the brink.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you.
You've probably realized by now how important the Minutemen are to me.
Okay.
When I was a kid, the Minutemen were my heroes. They were the only good guys around, really. When I turned 17, I joined up with Ezra Hollis's company. He was one of the good ones. Really believed in the old-time Minuteman way. We had a few good years there. I felt like I was part of something bigger than me. Like I was really helping make the Commonwealth a better place.
It sounds like you were really making a difference.
I think we were. I know we were. But obviously it didn't last. I'm sure there was a lot I didn't see or know enough to pay attention to. You know, the politics and rivalries and bad blood between the different groups. I guess General Becker was able to keep a lid on it. Keep everyone more or less on the same team. But after he was killed, it all came out in the open. I couldn't believe it at first. These guys were supposed to be Minutemen. They were supposed to put their duty to the people ahead of everything else.
Yeah, good luck with
Probably
that.
think I was pretty naive, huh? I guess I was. Still am, too. Even after everything. I still
Got that
believe
right.
that the Minutemen can be what I always thought they were. The good guys.
Well, you might be right about this, but
We are the good guys.
We're doing our best. And a lot of it has to do with your example. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
you annoy
Anyway,
me.
I appreciate you taking...
Yeah,
Anytime,
you're welcome.
Thanks.
You really bug me, Preston. I'm sorry, but you do.
Good to see you again.
Hi.
Ah, you're back. Do you need something?
Yeah,
How'd
what?
your father manage to travel to Arabia with the whole world blown to hell?
Ah, well, that was before the war, when he was a young man.
What?
Come on. The war was 200 years ago.
You know your history. Most people don't grasp how long ago the war really was.
That was
It
like
is an
yesterday for me,
unusual
but that's
situation.
not really the point.
Well, it's a private family matter. That's no concern of yours. Are we done?
But. Oh,
What's going on at that old insane asylum?
I carried out some of my research there.
all I need to know. Help
The
me.
more I know, the better I'll be at my job.
Well, I suppose that may be true. My father is confined in Parsons. For his own safety and everyone else's. He became dangerously unstable after handling an ancient artifact he found in Arabia. I've spent my life trying to figure out how to cure him. Was there anything else?
Give me.
I was intrigued by your theory
Yeah.
about an ancient alien civilization.
Actually, it was my father's theory. Now proven beyond doubt, although only to me, unfortunately. And there aren't many archaeology journals publishing these days.
No kidding.
You have proof?
Enough to satisfy me. Because of his illness, my father could not, or would not, explain exactly where he found the lost city. So I've had to confine my studies to what he brought back from his first expedition. But that's been enough to show beyond a doubt that the city he found wasn't made by or for human beings. Millennia older than the earliest human civilizations, but with technology that seems to have surpassed our own. And yet, everything about it is strange, disturbing geometries, tools not made for human hands, carvings that hint at dimensions beyond our own.
Yeah.
You said your father found a lost...
Yes, he spent years looking, and was widely ridiculed by the so-called experts. I'm ashamed to say even I doubted him.
Wait.
In the end, he found it. A lost city, buried in the sands of the Rub al-Khali, the empty quarter of Arabia.
So you're telling me not only is your father that old, but you are. Aha.
What was your
Right then.
father's theory?
He believed that all of the earliest human civilizations shared some common parent that was unknown to history. Think of Atlantis. The myth of an advanced civilization destroyed by a cataclysm is shared by many widely separated ancient cultures.
This is true.
Eventually, he found what he was looking for. A lost city, buried beneath the sands of the empty quarter of the Arabian desert.
So you're telling me he
I
found
wanted to ask you
Atlantis?
All right.
Or more or less.
Quite a place you've got here. Amazing that it survived the war.
Thank you. I try not to take it for granted. We were definitely more fortunate than most. It hasn't been easy keeping it up to pre-war standards, but we do what we can. Was there anything else?
Like,
I've got to get going.
All right.
I call such an extreme degree of bullshit that I don't even have words for the level of bullshit. No way in hell you have just kept this place intact. This is not a thing. This is not a thing. Bullshit is real with this one. Bullshit is so real. I don't even have words for how real the bullshit is. You guys don't mind if I kind of do some wandering around, right? 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 Totally fine, right? Oh, what did... Okay. Heal from the safe. Goodies. Terribly exciting. Nuke! Nuke. Really tempted to take the nuke because nukes are relatively hard to find and I don't have very many of them. How the hell do you have intact foodstuffs? The place we have found intact foodstuffs is in like a vault. Okay, fridges aren't intact though. It's all fucked up. I don't know. This place is some sort of fishy to me. This is like a whole new level of fishiness. Oh, okay, well, not unlocked elsewhere. Oh. Oh.
Is it just me, or does this place seem almost freakishly clean?
Ill.
I can't decide if this makes Jack more impressive or even crazier than I thought.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. Don't mind me. I don't wander around exploring your place without doing things you would rather me not do. Okay.
No way to pick this.
Locked elsewhere, which means it also has to be unlocked via the door. We'll quick save here. I'm gonna try and use this terminal. We're gonna see what we can see. Two things. That's really not that helpful. Good. Really not that helpful. I guess ED is the thing we're looking for here. Any other EDs? Shielded. Entered.
That's it.
Troubled. Ah. Cool. We'll set up correctly. Let's see if the save. Yes, I can already see this is going to increase my productivity immensely. Never mind Mother's carping about newfangled contraptions. Set my name in the setup screen. I'll have to check the manual for how to fix that. It get annoying to see that every time I log in. Oh. What with an O? Wait. What? What? They're telling me you were already over 100 years old when the bombs fell. Let alone fucking now. Oh, wait, no paper notes. Attempts to directly remove the artifact have been unsuccessful so far. Father's blood pressure dropped precipitously, and detectable brainwaves nearly flatlined each time. The results were the same with total anesthesia, local anesthesia, several types of antipsychotics. To do, fill the exact list and dosage for my notes. Varying degrees of dosages of LSD. Implies that disabling the artifact in some way will be necessary in order to remove it from Father. Psychotic effect permanent? Will it survive removal of the artifact, or is the artifact actively and directly inducing it? I've been very cautious but directly physically interacting with the artifact since the very early days. My initial attempts to probe or tinker with it were met with similar physical symptoms and Father to my attempts to remove it. I won't attempt to I won't attempt it again until I have a greater understanding of the artifact's inner workings. Active scanning of the artifact itself has proven useless. I currently consider this a dead end. X-rays so far have proven opaque to all my scans. Obviously, I've limited the amount of radiation I can risk subjecting my father to. Again, the artifact is opaque at all wavelengths. Passive scanning has been more promising. This is an area I plan to devote much more time. Artifact radiates across the electromagnetic spectrum at varying strengths and wavelengths. I have some basic telemetry already built into Father's cell and have been collecting data for the past 2 years. So far, it hasn't even... it isn't much more than suggestive of further avenues of research, but I'm quite confident that over time, and with more sophisticated sensors, I'll be able to gain genuinely useful insight into the way the artifact is controlling Father. Get military contacts from Senator DeSoto. They're likely to have some advanced tech that I can get commercially, or more advanced tech that I can get commercially, consider making deal for samples of serum. The physical symptoms and changes that the artifact is inducing Father are as follows: extreme paranoia and psychotic tendencies. No drug is causing it, though it's being directly induced by the artifact. Agelessness. As yet unidentified modifications to his blood chemistry has prevented any further aging since he first encountered the artifact. In fact, he may be in better physical health than before. It seems likely the artifact is actively monitoring and correcting any problems it finds with its host organism. Telekinesis. I really believe that this is not actual telekinesis, but is something generated directly by mechanisms in the artifact itself. Manipulation of gravity waves beyond our current technology. Physical strength, perhaps a side effect of the artifact's monitoring and improving of its host. Caused some difficulty early on in Father's confinement before I was fully aware of his abilities, but is now merely something to keep aware of. Blood chemistry shows various changes from human norms, as well as traces of currently unidentified substances. I've proven that at least some of the symptoms described above can be communicated to another person through use of blood transfusions. That's how he's still alive. Explains everything. So far, though, pure trial and error, I've been able to produce a serum with several of the beneficial qualities and few side effects, but my actual understanding of what the serum is doing is so far very limited. I'll continue to pursue that as time allows, but it seems unlikely to be of much use in actually freeing Father from the artifact, other than to keep you alive long enough to do it. Hey. X-rays of Father's brain show no physical intrusion of the artifact. His skull remains intact, and I can see no signs that it has even penetrated his flesh. At this point, I believe that the blood chemistry changes must be being induced by the artifact indirectly. It is instructing Father's cells on how to manufacture these substances. A successful intervention to date has been the development of the Bremlin field. Earliest crude implementation... 98. Hold on. When did this all happen? Because now you're 200 years old. At least. 200 years old before the bombs even fell. This means you're 400 years old now. Okay. Same frequencies get off by the artifact. It did interfere with the artifact's operation, but great cost to Father's health. At the time I had no choice. He would have been impossible to confine any other way. Refinement of the field has been a priority over the last decades. Managed to reduce the negative physical effects on Father while more directly blocking the artifact's telekinesis power. So far, my attempts to broaden the field's interference with other aspects of the artifact have been unsuccessful. It brings on similar physical symptoms to attempting to physically remove the artifact, but this remains the most promising avenue of my research. If I can discover how to interrupt this communications, I believe it will have the key to removing it. Okay. This is going to take a while. Father and Imogen have left for another European tour while I take care of the latest generational shift. Getting more difficult to make this work in our modern age. Luckily, money still talks. I'll have to find someone reliable to leave in charge of Parsons while I'm gone. Perhaps Anderson can be trusted not to meddle. Okay, so that was 60 to 95, so 30 years, more or less. Good to be back. John Cabot, long-lost cousin of the Cabots, has returned to claim his inheritance after the freak accident that claimed the lives of Jack and his family. As usual, I have to be careful to respond when people address me as John. This beard is going to take some getting used to, but such are the burdens of immortality. And it's improved loyal and uninclined to poke his nose into anything, so that's another hurdle passed. I need to try to get as much done as I can while my mother is away. I find it more productive than usual during these transitions. Another good jump. I've been experimenting with some of the new transistors, and it looks possible to make a portable version of the Bremlin field generator. If we ever had to move Lorenzo to a different facility for any reason, a lot more work is necessary, of course. Testing it on Lorenzo is out of the question. I won't risk shutting down the main field, but replicating the current field frequency pattern would at least give us something that we could try on in an emergency, even if I can't be 100% certain it will work. So you've stopped even calling him a father at this point. Just hired a new fellow to help me with the family's affairs, Edward Deegan. Yeah, so Edward's been with you for a good while. It's highly recommended. It's too easy for me to ignore the passage of time now, but I've just realized how old Daniel's getting. It'll be time for him to retire in a few years, and it's past time to start grooming his replacement. It's always such a difficult process that I tend to put it off, especially his mother could be so difficult with anyone new. If Edward proves reliable, I can start easing him into the family secrets. Tricky, but necessary. So far, so good. Mother's taken to him, which is an essential first step. Before the thing. I've had Robco out again. Seems like a small thing, but this login screen glitch has been driving me crazy. I assumed that it would be fixed with the upgraded terminals. You can be sure I was careful to type my name incorrectly this time, but no, when it booted up the next time, there it was again. Time to completely wipe the entire system and reinstall for the master holotapes. I believe that the typo was still there. I was to have some of the sharpest engineers look into the problem. I'm not sure they were being completely serious. If I don't hear from them within a couple weeks, I'll make a few calls. Suddenly, the political situation has become very dangerous. I don't pay much attention to current events, but Imogen's latest boy is a high muckety-muck. Some government agency and has been telling her alarming stories about how close things have gotten to a full-scale nuclear war. I wonder if we're following the footsteps of the ancients who created the artifact. If so, who might our successors be? Thousands of years from now, will cockroach civilization eventually rise to wonder at the artifacts we left behind? Really happened. I don't think I've quite come to the terms of what it means for the long term. It's been one crisis after another. We certainly weren't out of the woods yet. The simple fact that I could write this again means we are better off than most people. I don't have time to write down everything that's happened. Fortunately, Boston was spared a direct hit. My first concern was Parsons, of course. We had to maintain power at all costs. We've always had backup generators, more than usual, even for a medical facility, but these were intended for short-term outages, not as a permanent power supply. The question about security, Edward proved himself amazingly resourceful. He already had plans in place for just such an emergency. Thank God he paid more attention to the news than I did. Still, there's no real planning for the end of civilization. He and I have been at Parsons for almost a month, trying to keep things completely falling apart. Edward has been out more than he should. I'm afraid he's taken a heavy dose of radiation, that's why he turned into a ghoul. There was really no choice. I'll do what I can for him. I don't know how I could replace him now. Imogen has stepped up amazingly. I had no idea she had it in her. The man we left in charge here proved unreliable, apparently cracked under the pressure and tried to evict Imogen and Mother at gunpoint. Imogen must be his sister. He didn't reckon on Imogen, and neither did I. We charged and somehow kept things secure here in spite of everything. I'll have to see what Edward can do about a more permanent solution for power and security for Cabot House, but for the moment things look much better than it might. In fact, even our resources will be tested to the limit over the coming years, but in some ways I'm glad of the challenge. One thing's for sure, the end of the world isn't boring. 2 years later, Edward has recruited a more or less reliable security force to protect Parsons. The power situation is stabilized. Our spare parts stockpile at least 50 years. Between here and Parsons is still the biggest problem. There's no sign of any return of law and order, just the opposite. Opposite, in fact, but Edward has proven skilled at dealing with the various groups of thugs that have sprung up. Speaking of Edward, his radiation sickness has developed in the most fortunate way. For a time I thought he was surely going to die, but then his condition stabilized. Now he seems actually immune to further radiation. Only this is not unknown in the other survivors. All Edward tells me is a strong prejudice is developed against these people, hard to understand, as they seem uniquely qualified to survive in this new world. Benefit of the end of a civilization that I hadn't anticipated. There's no need now for us to have to die periodically and go back to being Jack Cabot again for the foreseeable future. No more neighbors to poke the noses into our business. Completely immersed myself in Lorenzo's work like never before. I wish now I had made more effort when it was still possible to try to locate the site of the so-called Ubar. After my initial failed attempt to find the site, I dismissed it as both hopeless and useless, better to focus my energy on immediate problems. But now, after going over Lorenzo's papers more thoroughly, I believe that there are enough clues to the general location that a large-scale search using aircraft might have been feasible, something that wasn't possible in my first attempt, of course, but maybe I could have found some other artifacts that I could have studied there more directly, and if they were for completely different purposes, it would be valuable understanding how the ancient technology functioned. Also come to realize how brilliant Lorenzo actually was. I was far too quick to dismiss his theories, the arrogance of youth. Though convinced that his essential premise is correct, the artifact... Well, I'm now convinced that it's correct. The artifact he found was not made by humans. All the evidence was there, but Lorenzo was the only one who put it all together and actually understood what it meant. Staggering thing to think of. If only he had been capable of dealing with fools a bit more diplomatically, he might have gained more general acceptance.
How do you want to do that?
Oh, that was cool. Didn't provide the ability to open these doors like I was hoping it would, but I was still interested to know, though. And I'm actually very... Doug? You get mad if I steal shit? You probably do. Yes. Cave barrel. Yeah, that's what I thought. Get really pissed off if I steal shit. Zeta, wave, arrow. Oh my. Interesting. I'm gonna reload because I don't want Preston to be pissed at me. But seems pretty cool. Kinda like it. Tempted as hell to keep it, but I guess I won't. Well, I'm actually extremely intrigued now. I'm going to do this quest because I'm very interested. Lock the door behind me. In. Alright. Fast rifle, the hunting rifle, the laser musket, and the pipe revolver. Turn any gun into semi-automatic, though. It has, just as you can turn most of them into automatic, if you are so inclined. But automatic weapons, you lose so much of the actual potential damage per shot, and you burn through so much ammo, that I don't feel that automatic weapons, for the most part, are a good idea. Unless it's a minigun that you've just turned into a crazy weapon of doom. That's a slightly different story, but... So are you still going to, like, watch me? Apparently you are. Alright, well, let's go ahead. Since I'm now kind of involved in this quest and I'm interested, very interested, let's go ahead and, we'll pick it up next time, I guess. So we'll travel up here, we'll talk to the person, assuming we can find the person anyway. And an interesting looking Deathclaw. Oh good! Oh good. The game crashed. That's fun. Good. Good. That's good. Real good. Well, in that case, thanks for watching, folks. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and I will see you next time. Take it easy, have a good day, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.